Belarusian Ministry of Defense announced on Sunday that it is sending additional military equipment to the border areas with Ukraine. I'm Maria Drutska, and today we continue the topic on the special military operation in Kursk region of Russia, which has been ongoing for 6 days. You can check out my previous video about the overall situation in Kursk and the main points of this operation. I will leave a link in the description of this video. The Belarusian ministry noted that units from one of the mechanized formation have been put on alert to perform the designated tasks. The military personnel are loading military equipment onto railway transport and preparing to carry out a combined march to the designated areas, the department's message says. Earlier, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko issued orders to strengthen the military grouping in the Gomel and Moser tactical directions to respond to any possible provocations. Alexander Lukashenko stated that the country's air forces and air defense troops had been put on heightened combat readiness and had destroyed drones allegedly launched by Ukraine towards Belarus and Russia. He added that some of the targets were destroyed over the country while the rest were handed over to Russia. Interestingly, the monitoring group Belaruski Hayun reported that on August 9, during Belarusian aviation flights, no drones were detected despite Alexander Lukashenko's statements. According to the monitoring group, on August 9, 2024, during the flights of the Belarusian Armed Forces aviation, no drones were detected, no missiles launches from Su-30 fighter jets or Mi-24 helicopters were conducted. This implies that the latest loud statements by Lukashenko are plain nonsense, the message says. What else did Luka said? Well, Belarusian military unit of the Special Operation Forces, Land Forces, and missile troops, including the Polonez multiple launch rocket system and Iskander complexes, will be deployed to the border with Ukraine. There has also been an increase in the forces and asset of the air defense troops, radio technical troops, and aviation. Additionally, the Belarusian Ministry of Foreign Affairs summoned the temporary charge d'affaires of Ukraine in Belarus. The Ukrainian diplomat was informed that Belarus might raise the issue of the appropriateness of the Ukrainian diplomatic representation in Minsk. It's quite funny, especially considering that it was from Belarus that Russia invaded Ukraine, and Lukashenko provided Russia with his territory to launch missiles while peaceful people were sleeping at night. Before I continue, guys, I want to thank all of you who sent coffees on Buy Me a Coffee and become Patreon to this channel. You can also help this channel by subscribing to it, because I can see that some of you watching my news and haven't subscribed yet. I suggest you also subscribe to my Twitter page, where I post regular updates about the situation in Ukraine, and to my Instagram, where I show the daily life in Ukraine. Belarus has started moving troops to the border with Ukraine to force the Ukrainian General Staff to pull its forces from the Kursk region of Russia. This opinion was expressed by military expert and former SBU employee Ivan Stupak. The Russian Federation and the Kremlin realize that they cannot handle the situation in Kursk with their current forces, and the transfer of personnel, equipment, and ammunition from other direction is already underway, which could negatively impact those areas. Therefore, it is likely that the decision was made to bring Belarus and Lukashenko into the game to increase tensions, supposedly in response to Ukraine's provocations by increasing troop numbers at the border with Ukraine in Gomel, Mosul, and Chernihiv and Kiev regions, respectively, the expert explained. He added that this is a bluff, a game of who blinks first. He is confident that Belarus does not intend to advance into Ukrainian territory, and it's all improvisation and performance just to make the general staff of Ukraine pull back its troops. He noted that the current situation at the border does not indicate that an offensive from Belarus is planned. There are only Belarusian troops, including some special operations forces, land forces, and a portion of heavy equipment, but no Russian troops. These are all troops assembled on short notice. On Saturday, they were told to assemble. Literally, they left in whatever they were wearing. In other words, preparing for an offensive requires a significant buildup of forces and resources, which as of now is not the case, the expert believes. However, Belarus is once again escalating the situation in this direction, likely to continue playing along with Russia. We see accusation against Ukraine, something Lukashenko has done repeatedly. Well, Luka seems to be playing along with Putin, but constantly comes up with excuses, saving his own people, by the way, because if Belarusians attack us, well, we quickly repel them. The borders are heavily mined on our side, and they don't have as much as powerful military equipment as Russia. Luka is also afraid of losing power. Involvement of Belarusian troops in any armed conflict outside the country would be a trigger for him. He will do everything to avoid entering the war with Ukraine. However, he might arrange provocations to justify deployment troops to the border without crossing it. To another news, the newspapers are writing that soon we will face Judgment Day. In Ukraine, preparations are underway for a powerful missile strike from Russia following the Ukrainian advance in the Kursk region, according to Times, citing sources in the Ukrainian command. According to the source, the strikes could target objects in Kiev, including the Verkhovna Rada, the parliament, and other government buildings. Russia feels the need to deliver a very harsh response, something grandiose, to show the world that it is so great and powerful, and that something like Kursk will not go unpunished, the source said, adding that it could be involved hundreds of missiles and drones, which would be a problem for Ukrainian air defense. Well, guys, what do you think? Can Putin convince Lukashenko to get more involved in the war against Ukraine? Write me in comments. That's it for today, and I want to thank all of you for supporting Ukraine, watching Ukrainian content. Please like this video, and if you really like it and you want more videos like this, you can support the channel's development on Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. See you soon, and Slava Ukraini!